Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the fourth segment of Futsal Talk WA. In the next 45 minutes to an hour, we will be joined by Diego Garcia, who is a Perth resident. He is a Brazilian national, has played in the Superliga for the last several years, runs Phoenix Futsal Club and also the Diego Garcia Futsal Academy here in Perth. And then Rhianna Pollicina from Sydney. She's been a member of the Australian women's futsal team, has played for Western Sydney Wanderers in the W League, and is one of the most successful female futsal players in the New South Wales Futsal League. So some very exciting guests today. Thank you very much to those who are joining us. Those who aren't able to watch live, there is always the load that goes on YouTube. We put it on Facebook and upload it to YouTube so that anyone who isn't able to watch live is able to still see and listen to the things that we discuss. We just need to mention, it being Anzac Day, that we need to thank all of the current and past servicemen and women who have given up their lives and even given their lives in battle so that we are able to live the way that we do in Australia. I have several former students and players who are in the armed services, so thank you to all of you. It makes me very proud when I see images of you in uniform on social media, and we are very, very grateful to everything that you give. So thank you very much on today, Anzac Day, for everything that you do, and of course every day of the year. Now, today with Diego and with Minnie, we will be discussing their upbringing in futsal, where they are now, where they're moving with the academies that they run. So Minnie also runs her own academy, the RP Academy in Sydney. What their ideas and beliefs are regarding coaching and how they got to where they are at the moment. Again, thank you to those people who have been contributing by asking questions and getting involved. Please don't let that stop. With Diego and with Rhianna, three people who love the game of futsal, please ask us whatever you can. Try to keep it on topic where possible, but please feel free to ask away. So we will get Diego online. Just give us a moment while we get him onto the live stream. For those who have been sending in questions outside of the live stream, again, we'll do our best to answer them. I have had multiple people send me messages and ask. One of the things that we have been asked quite a bit is about activities and exercises for people to do while they are not able to go out and train with clubs and that sort of stuff. So we've done, Annie and myself have done quite a bit of futsal, just little individual skills and juggling exercises in our garage, little technical activities where you're passing the ball against the wall, doing volleys, headers, knee volley, chest volley. Those sorts of exercises are really good that you can do if you've got a partner. Even juggling against a wall where you're constantly having to adjust your body position, have your touch, and then get the ball back against the wall and then to where the ball's going to come back to you. It's that sort of a situation. But one of the things that I say to players a lot is that we need to develop our awareness in Australian players, awareness and then also deception. So moving to the ball, anyone can do, but can you move away from the ball, check your shoulder, and then move to the ball? And obviously if you're juggling a ball back and forwards against the wall, that's not easy, but even just a little quick check of your shoulder as you volleyed the ball to the wall, have another look as it's coming back. If you can get to that stage, that's excellent. If you've got help, if you've got someone serving you the ball, then it's a matter of, can I move towards the ball, do the volley, do the header, whatever it is, move away, protect my shoulder, and then move back towards the ball and do whatever's necessary. So little activities where you're working on more than one thing are really, really important, especially the movement before you receive the ball. Too many players, and too often we just move straight to the ball rather than that deception of I'm going to take the player away and then at the right time move to them. So those sorts of activities are really good. Even if you're on your own and you're passing a ball against the wall, the idea of orienting your body and controlling with a dummy or a feint, you can work on those things on your own. Pass the ball against the wall, make a little movement to go away, come back to the ball, receive it, open your body as you're receiving it, and look to attack a defender. So lots of those sorts of, individual technical activities you can do, and then it's just a matter of as you improve, the repetition becomes, it becomes easier to add new things. So add a different body shape, add a little dummy before you actually do the turn, before you, when you've made your first movement away, do some sort of a body shift, add things in as you go, so that you're working on improving different things. I'm sorry, we're just having a little bit of an issue getting Diego connected to the live stream. While that's happening, I have had a couple of questions already come in, so I'll answer them as we go, and then hopefully we'll get a little bit more time towards the end of Diego. So one of the questions that has come in is regarding me as a player. When you were playing futsal as a junior youth, what was the standard? So what was the standard of futsal like compared to today? I think my dad sort of, when he was on a couple of weeks ago, he touched on this. The way futsal is played now is a lot different. Back then, it was a lot more individual than it is today. There was a lot of futsal. The majority of futsal was played on small courts. So even with juniors, it's a matter of, can you receive the ball under pressure, or possibly under pressure, and move either with the ball or without the ball. But it's not difficult then to beat one player and be shooting a goal. So the tactical side of the game, even though we are playing on a small court with our juniors, the tactical side of the game has developed so that the juniors are then prepared when they play senior football. So we work a lot more now on junior players making decisions, on having a lot more freedom to, express themselves, but also make decisions on the fly, pass the ball, move, create different situations as you go, rather than back when I was 8, 9, up to sort of 13 or 14, where things were still quite rigid. There was more of an outdoor football mentality, which was, Greg, you're the fixo, this person's the right flanker, this person's the left flanker, this person's the pivot. Obviously the words were different. It used to be pivot and target, but the idea was that whenever there was a ball's gone out, or a set opportunity to reset, you would be in those positions. So we're a lot less rigid now, where you don't necessarily assign a left flanker and a right flanker. And it's not really, it used to be more based on the strength of the player's foot. So a left-footed player would quite often end up being the left flanker. A right-footed player would be the right flanker. Whereas we're a lot more expressive now with letting players make decisions on the fly. So just as I say that, I think we've gotten Diego online. Diego, are you there? No, looks like he's there, but we seem to still be having an issue. What we might do, if we can get Minnie to join the live stream, we'll get Minnie to jump on, and then if we can get Diego back towards the end, we'll...
Hey Greg, how you going?
Hello?
Hey, how you going?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Best I can be in this situation.
Yeah, so well, sorry for the technical issues. We're not sure what's going on.
Oh, that's all good.
But thank you for joining a little bit early.
That's all right.
So what we discussed during the week when we were talking, I gave you some questions. So your junior football and futsal experiences. Could you tell us a little bit about what you did, where you played, things that you, or players that you played with? A little bit of detail for us.
Yep. So I started when I was 10 years old, just at a local soccer club. I'm sure everyone starts at junior clubs. And then I was playing in under 10s grand final, and I got selected by an MPL team called Marconi Stallions. And then from there, my football career kind of kicked off. I didn't start futsal till I was 12, just at a local futsal centre in the local area, and I was just playing in a boys team with my cousins. And then from there, I got selected for just a trial at the New South Wales FFA Futsal Nationals. And I kind of just trialled along there, and I was the youngest one. And that's how my futsal career started as well. From there, things just started to happen. I didn't really know much about the sport because I was playing netball at the time. And people just guided me along the way, as in coaches. And yeah, that's kind of when I got recognised. And at 14, I was playing at the Institute, what it's called now. It used to be called Skills Acquisition Program. And then it was called TAP, and then it was called Project 22. I was playing along that. And then my career started probably at 15 when I was training at Sydney FC with the likes of Caitlin Ford, Sam Kerr, Chloe Lagazzo, Amy Harrison, all those Matildas. I was playing training alongside them, sorry. Regarding futsal, I've always been at a club called Inner West Magic. This would be my 12th year now, if it does go ahead this season. And yeah, in outdoor, as I said, I've always played at the Institute program until I was 17. Playing at the Institute program, which would be equivalent to the WA, I'm not sure what it's called there.
Institute of Sport, yeah.
Institute of Sport. At 17, we ended up winning the grand final, and a few of the standout players got asked to trial for the Western Sydney Wanderers. And I trialled that year, and at 17, I got selected for the Western Sydney Wanderers. So I went from obviously an outdoor season at the Institute to a W League season, and I played for a season for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Before that, obviously at 15, 16, I was training with Sydney FC, so I kind of had that experience. And then from there, still continued playing nationals, played AFA nationals, and then got selected for the World Cup when I was 20. Went overseas with Spain, Greg as the assistant coach, and still playing futsal to the day, and just playing MPL outdoor.
Yeah.
So that's a long rundown of my career.
That's all right. You dropped some very interesting names in there. Can you pick out a moment or two from everything that you've just said that stands out to you? Some of your favourite moments?
So at 17, I represented Australia in outdoor, and obviously at 20, I represented Australia at futsal. Something I will always cherish is representing the country, always. So that's every moment that you can represent Australia is a moment that I'll take. And then obviously representing, whether it be futsal or outdoor at the highest league is a moment that I'll always cherish.
You did also, I know, on your debut for the under-17 outdoor side, you scored maybe it was your debut or it was the first game of a tournament. I know you scored a very good goal, the first goal of the match. And obviously, I won't forget the goals that you scored at the Women's World Cup. But some incredible moments that you will have had. And like I said before, you listed some top names in the football world. So some great experiences. Moving on to the next lot of questions. So in WA, we are still struggling to get club futsal teams training multiple times a week. We'll quite often have elite level teams. We'll train once or twice a week, but with the juniors, it's a little bit of a struggle. How do you manage with your juniors in Sydney? How do they train during the winter for futsal, or is it specifically outdoor in the winter, futsal in the summer? How do you do it?
So our futsal season down here is only from October. It used to go from October to the end of Feb, so it used to be a lot longer. But now that outdoor football is a lot longer, they've cut the futsal season down here. So pretty much the only time our kids or our development is training if they are at a futsal academy. So that's why I've started my own futsal academy to keep it going all year round. Other than that, we hold trials for our Premier League clubs, so equivalent to NPL outdoor up there. We have an NPL futsal competition down here, and we hold trials around July. And then we join our club. So what will happen is we start from 8 boys. So we have an 8 boys team, a 9 boys team, a 10 boys team, 11 boys team, 12 boys, 14 boys, 16 boys, a youth men team, and a men's team in a club. And then we have a 10 girls team, 11 girls team, 12 girls teams, 13 girls teams, 15 girls, 17, and a women's team. So what will happen from about October till December, it's shortened this last season it shortened. Each team will train once or twice a week and they'll play every Saturday. The club works out, it's a home and away fixture, so there's 7 other teams, and you'll train twice a week with your team, and then you'll verse another club on the weekend. So it will start with your academy teams at the start of the day, starting from 8 a.m, and you'll finish with your men's team at 7 p.m. So it's an all-day thing. And yeah, it's massive down here. It's a lot different to other states. We're kind of lucky. And like if any interstate players can come, like even down for the weekend and watch a few of our games, the atmosphere is massive. Like we have live streams, the crowd gets into it. We play club championships, and like every state could get to this, it'd be amazing for the sport. And we'd create more professional players to play overseas. But unfortunately, not every other state's on that level, which someday hopefully we can get to. But yeah, as I said, it's a club thing. It's a whole club day. I coach the juniors of the club, and I stay all day. I get there at 10 a.m. I coach the 13s. I coach the 15 girls. I'm on the bench for the 17s, and then I play women. So I'm there all day. Yeah, my club's like my family, and that's how I'm so passionate about the sport.
I would expect nothing less. I'm glad to hear it. All right, next question. So when it comes to playing, obviously you're only 23. There's still a great deal that you can accomplish in the game, despite what you already have. Where would you like to go from here? From where we are right now, where would you like to be in 12 months or 3 years or 5 years? Where do you think you can get to?
That's a really good question. I set goals. So my goal this year was to have a really phenomenal outdoor season and potentially make W League again. If that wasn't on the list, then I would have just continued to play futsal and obviously push for the World Cup squad for next year, and keep pushing. And then maybe even look at getting an overseas contract. So whether it be in Spain, Italy, anywhere that has good futsal, probably push to go overseas to play. a season over there just to experience different things.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back to that. So that's it ties in the next question. How do you think we can bridge the gap? So for Australian players, there's not been that many who have gone overseas and have played futsal professionally, despite the fact that there are a high number of individuals who are very good and are definitely good enough to do it. How do you think we can bridge the gap so that we are able to get more players like yourself, some of the young players that we've got here with West Coast, over playing professionally in Europe or in Asia, wherever it may be?
I definitely think we need the higher boards of futsal to come together. Players in WA are lucky with people like yourself able to support them. But in saying that, at the moment, it's up to the individual to work on their skills, send videos out, find a contact overseas to get them overseas a trial. How can we bridge the gap? Like I said, we do need the higher bodies to come together, support the sport. It is an amazing sport. We have so much talent here. The younger ones players coming up are phenomenal, from all different states that I've seen at the Nationals. Yeah, we just need someone to support the sport and just so we can get recognised. Hopefully get it on TV so other countries can see the talent we have. But as I said, it's up to the individual at the moment to work hard, contact someone. People aren't so lucky to have someone so supportive like you, Greg. So thank you for being supportive. But yeah, it's up to individuals at the moment, I think.
Yeah. Well, obviously you're more than welcome, and all the players with West Coast know my main focus is always to help players develop and to see them improve and move on with their careers. Just while we're talking,
Yep.
We'll get some questions in from people who are watching. I'll just get Annie's just doing up a list of questions for me. But
Yep.
I do have one more question for you. So obviously you've got your background is Italian. Do you have an Italian passport?
Not at the moment, but I am working on that.
You're working on it. So if you were to go and live in Europe and play in Europe, what do you think your expectation would be? Would it be that you would be going for 12 months to try it? Would you be looking long term to stay over there?
Definitely I would go over to try it at first, and if I loved it, knowing me that I would stay there until who knows, like maybe I could find a partner over there. I don't know, like I can't predict what would happen, but obviously I recommend if anyone has a European passport to definitely go over there and give it a try. I do know a friend that's gone over there and loves it, but you might get over there and miss your family. So I'm really close with my family, so who knows? But yeah, if I was to go over there and I loved it, which knowing me I would definitely look to stay there and play as long as I could.
And do you think your family would be looking? Would they come over and visit? Would they come over and even possibly make a move over with you?
I don't think they would move, but I definitely think they'd be over every 6 months because my family do love to travel with me. Any reason for them to get out of Australia, they'd be there.
Fair enough. All right. We'll move on to some of the questions that we've had from some other people. First question, what inspired you to start your own futsal academy? I'm not sure, Annie, sorry, who was that from? She's not 100% sure. It was one that flashed up before. What inspired you to start your own futsal academy?
I started coaching when I was 15 years old, and I've always coached alongside other people. So recently, I've obviously been coaching at the Nationals since I was 17, and I have a good core base of girls that followed me. And moving back, I obviously moved to Brisbane last year, if you didn't know, and I moved back. It was the perfect opportunity for me to start something for female players, as there wasn't anything down here. So I jumped on that opportunity. Obviously, I love the game. I love developing young players into obviously better players, but even better people. And that's what inspired me. So I had a few younger girls that I was training just on the side, and then it motivated me to start something.
Excellent. So what's your long-term vision for your academy?
Long-term vision, I haven't actually really thought about it during because it stopped after 7 weeks, unfortunately. But potentially being the biggest female futsal academy in New South Wales, and having opportunities for young girls to travel overseas, play the game overseas, and just being a base where they can just come and get away from boys if they're not really enjoying that, and come and train with girls and play in academy teams and join academies and going to interstate and verse other academies interstate. So that's kind of my goal, just having that neutral base where females can just come and kick the ball, whether it be social, whether it be elite. There's all different levels there.
Yeah. So the question, the basis for that question was from my dad, Martin. So next question, yeah, we had him on a couple of weeks ago, and he's still watching. So,
nice.
Next question, with your academy, do you see? With your academy, do you see the players developing, and do you think then that they will be capable of pushing on to state level, international level, and how quickly do you think players can develop into that sort of a level player?
Well, at the moment, obviously, I just started up this term, so I only have about 15 to 20 players. The youngest being 7, oldest being 12. So yes, I can see them pushing further, but they still got a lot of work, to be honest.
A lot of growth.
Yes, a lot of growth. But not only as a footballer, but as a person. And yeah, like, it's not only just being good on the field, it's how well you're respected off the field as well. There's no point being good on the field and having a bad attitude. So they've got plenty of work. But definitely I do see there's a lot of talent there. And definitely can see future Matildas in my academy. Excellent.
So you played a couple of years ago with the West Coast women's team when there wasn't a Sydney team, and we happened to have a player pull out of our team because of injury. What was your feeling when you were with the West Coast girls? What sort of a feeling did you get from the West Coast group?
So I didn't know anyone. Obviously, coming from interstate, the only person I knew was you, Greg. But the girls were awesome. They made me feel very welcome. They were a great bunch of girls. Oh, sorry, I did know Chelsea. Very good atmosphere. They're like a family. They're inclusive. So I felt included from the get-go. Coach was very welcoming, and jumping on that field with them, it felt natural. So credit to you and credit to the girls for being so inclusive. But yeah, it was good. It was just an easy, smooth transition into a different state. So it was awesome.
I think Jess Lindquist was also in that group.
Oh, Jess, yeah. Jess, Andy, and Chelsea. That's all I knew.
Yeah. So another question, this one from one of our coaches, junior coaches, and one of our senior men's players, Merton. He said, running your own academy, what kind of issues have you met along the way?
Well, probably the biggest issue now is COVID. So I just started up. I was actually growing. I got up to 14 players and had a lot more interest. And then it just stopped. So now I've got to start from scratch. I've got to get my junior players back into loving the game. I'm starting online this week, just 3 sessions for girls. But that's probably my biggest issue so far. So I haven't been started for that long. But yeah, that's probably the biggest.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's everyone Australia-wide, even worldwide, is feeling the same thing.
Yeah.
We've had another question. So one of our youth women's players, Hayley Jean, why do you think your teams have been so successful at nationals? And I will just give you a little bit of background info on Hayley. So 3 or 2 years ago, she was in the under-15 team that lost the final to your girls. Actually, that might have been 3 years ago now. 2 years ago, they lost the 16s final to your girls, I think. And then this January, lost the youth women's final to your girls. So there's a little bit of pain there in Hayley's question. So please be nice.
To be honest, Greg, I touched on it before. Like I said, most of the girls play at the highest level futsal here. And most of my girls that come to nationals have played together before. And they just get the way I coach, they listen. I have a very different style of coaching, and on the field, they just click together. I might have a few standout players, but I'm not about having just superstars. I like them working together as a team. So when they come to nationals, they get about 4 sessions in. They work hard for an hour and a half. They're with me. And then they just get the way that I play. They defend well. I focus on defense more than attack. And then we score goals, obviously, in attack. So that's my game plan. The girls are so good. They train hard. But as I said, they play at the highest level here, and they love their futsal. So they don't really like losing as well.
Do you think that they play together regularly in club competitions? Does that make it a huge difference? They just know each other better. They're used to each other.
100%. So I think this year, 3 or 4 of the youth played together, and then the rest were just trialists that came and trialed. But that core group told the other 3 or 4 how to play. So it was pretty much at training. I'd show them with the 4 that played with me. And then the other ones just picked it up nice and easy. So it was just a smooth transition, 2 or 3 sessions before nationals.
Yeah. All right. Oh, hang on. We've got one more question. So the question is, why are you just so good? And it's from, and Tori, I'm sorry if I say this wrong, Tori to Meth.
Tori, it's because I play with you. Nah, I don't know, Greg. I've just trained. I've worked hard. Every guidance that I've got from different coaches, I've added it into my game. So every bit of information that can help my game, I've tried to put it into my game and make me a better player. But as I said, I've had very good players along the way guide me. I play in an awesome team that backs me. And I wouldn't be the player without all these coaches on the way giving me guidance.
Do you want to give a shout out to those coaches? And just before you say that, Tori said, good answer.
Thanks, Tori. Probably the biggest one would be Matteo. So Matteo is the Inner West Magic president for futsal. And he's coached me every year that I've been there. And it was one year where I was 14 and I used to come off every year crying because he would hammer me on the field, and that's just brought out the best of me. Shout out to Matteo, yourself, Greg, at the World Cup, Jody, Stadge has helped me a lot. So obviously the ex-Matildas coach, he was training me at Sydney FC. He helped me a lot. All my Westfield Sports high school teachers, they helped me a lot. Nadine Shields, massive impact. Yeah.
All right. Well, we might have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. Please make sure you stay safe, look after yourself, and I look forward to seeing you again as soon as possible. And make sure you keep those Sydney girls training hard. We want to beat them at the next nationals, and we want it to be the best possible circumstances.
Awesome, awesome. Keep training, guys. Make sure you stay safe and make sure you keep training while you guys are at home as well. Keeping fit.
All right.
Thank you so
Cheers,
much,
Minnie.
Greg.
Talk soon.
See ya.
Bye. All right. So thank you very much to Minnie, to Rhianna for her time. Now, just a little bit of an update. We had a little bit of an issue with Diego, so his internet connection, something's gone wrong. He's apologised. What we will do is we'll do a separate interview just with Diego, and we'll put that up. We'll have to put it up on YouTube as a separate, or we might actually be able to combine the posts. Being not great technically, I'll leave that up to Annie, but we'll get all the information and we'll make sure that we do get Diego's interview up online. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you've enjoyed the chat with Minnie, and again, sorry for the technical issues. We have had a couple of other questions come in, and any questions that we do have, we will answer in the next show, or we'll get answered in the video from Diego. All right. Thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay safe. And again, thank you very much to all of our servicemen and women for all of the sacrifices that they make. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye. All right, so first question for you, Diego. Where was home when you were a kid, and how did you start playing futsal?
Well, I grew up in Brazil, and in Brazil, you can play soccer, futsal, everywhere. And I started playing when I was, we going to the pre-kindy, which you are from 4.5 to 5 years old, and then they already have a core inside of the school, And then, you get basic kicks around, and everything started from there pretty much.
Did you used to play, when you were at school, would you play it in breaks, at lunchtime, morning tea time?
Yes, the morning tea time was the best time, you had, like 30, 40 kids in one court playing around, kicking the ball.
Yeah.
And, there's a great experience, especially, for the kids, they have no conditions, to go to a recreation center, or, they have to work, since young ages, and they can practice sports.
Yeah.
So they go to the school, it's a big support, especially for the poor people.
All right. So in Australia, when you moved to Australia, you've played for a number of teams at high levels. Can you tell us how has futsal evolved from when you first started playing it to what it is today?
The game has changed a lot. I'm 41 now, so and yeah, really well, through all this process, when the futsal, when I was young, we used to play with that little, really little heavy ball.
Very small heavy ball, yeah.
Yes, and that was great because, if you had really good skills, would be, nutmeg people, 3 times, in a row, things like that. And the goalkeeper would be a big issue, because a tiny ball, if you hit with a lot of power, you wouldn't even see it. Yes. And remember, goalkeeper could have, anytime he could grab the ball with his hands and play for, how long he wants, going over the halfway and back. And a lot of things have changed now. You can see the goalkeeper now to touch the ball has to go across the halfway.
Yeah.
And different competitions, different associations, they use kicking and someone doing the throwing, which actually is pretty interesting sometimes,
Yeah.
And I'm pretty happy, with any restrictions or rules or coming up, because at the end of the day we just need to adapt and improve in every aspect.
Yeah, well, I know the change in, I think it was about 2015, where the goalkeeper wasn't allowed to come like they had to move over halfway before they could get the ball back. That was a big change, and the throw-in rules back to the old days of the FIFUSA and the AMF rules. I used to play with those rules when I was a kid in some places, and we've used it once or twice over here as well. So I know that it does change the game a lot. It adds different dimensions, bringing volleys and that sort of thing more into the game, and the goalkeeper not being able to throw the ball over halfway. All of those things change the game quite a bit.
Oh yes, especially you need to look more for the tactical side of the game. Like you're saying here, some places, some competitions they use that rule, which the goalkeeper cannot throw the ball over the halfway. And what happens in that case? You will have at least 90 players in one half.
Yeah.
Right. So that will be more physical, and you need to have a really good feet to play in those conditions.
Yeah, it does change the game quite a bit. All right, so you now run the Phoenix Futsal Club. You're the head coach in the Superliga, and you also run your academy, the DG Academy. Can you give us three topics or three ideas that you think that you like to focus on with juniors, and then also three that you like to focus on with the seniors?
Yes. So I'm going to speak about my academy first. And I've been, in Australia for a few years now, and I have, been working different programs, working with juniors, to the open men's and open women's and everything. And after, a few years, I started thinking about, I really wanted to do my own thing, build my academy, build my own program, and, try to see how it goes. And I started, just about it's about, at least 1 year and a half already I built my academy. It's been great. And one thing I really look is for the development of juniors, which the bad thing is they start practice sport. Not really matters which sport they will, practice. If it's volley, netball, cricket, tennis, they have to be doing. Because especially from the young age, they will have self-confidence, self-esteem, and we'll teach them discipline, because kids, when they're really young, they don't have much discipline, they don't know nothing about it. And you growing, in an environment like this, you will turn a pretty good person in the future.
Yeah. So discipline.
Yes, discipline is one thing. Is my priority, pretty much.
Yeah.
Especially on the academy. And you have those kids, which they don't have played the game before, and I always start with the basics, working with fundamentals, and then slowly we're going into drills and skills, things like that, and most of the kids, they love to do that, and I reckon it's a great support for them, especially because we growing up in one generation which everything is it's computer, iPods, and phones,
screens,
and the kids. Sometimes some kids they don't get much, time to play out.
Yeah.
Which they need, be healthy, be fit,
What are some of the fundamentals that you focus on with the juniors?
The three fundamentals, I really focus on the young ages is passing, move, and look for a free space.
Yeah.
And control, of course.
Yeah.
And then, we graduate, by ages and groups and, everything.
Yeah. All right. And what about for the senior players, the Phoenix players? What do you focus on with those guys?
Well, I'm gonna speak about how we started with Phoenix. The same way I was working with junior programs. I was working, with high level those clubs. And I have experienced, things inside the court and things outside the court, because it's a lot of things happening behind the scenes, right? People don't see it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, managers, coaches, administration, treasurers, media side. It's a huge work, but nobody sees,
Yeah.
And I say, I'm going to have to build my club, and I'm going to do in my club, made up of friends, only friends, just to have a social thing, more fun thing.
Yeah.
And then when I started, people started looking up, and they say, sending me message, text, call, can we join your club and stuff, and the stuff is starting to get a little bit bigger. And then when we, started competing at a high level, and pretty much, every player coming through Phoenix, they already have, futsal background, and yes, it's pretty much how everything started.
Well, as futsal's grown, and I'm sure from when you were younger, from when we were younger, the game's changed quite a bit. Your approach tactically, what do you like to see? What's your, I guess, your main focus tactically during games?
Oh, that's a tricky question, Greg. We are in the same competition, I guess. All right. Now, but basically, my priority, and when you go to build, a team or club or anything, it starts from defense. Priority is defense. But I always tell, my players, we will play, defensively, the way we want to do, right? We have our own system, but at the end of the day, we are attacking team. We play very offensive team. We always going to go forward, no matter what. But priority, of course, without defending, you can win the games.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and so with that, and we were talking about this before, the change of rules in 2015 with the goalkeeper having to go over halfway before they can get the ball a second time. Your Phoenix team has used the fly keeper a few times in the Superliga. How do you feel about the different tactical choices? So your plan B, your plan C. Do you like the idea of the fly keeper? I've spoken to quite a few people that would like the rules to go back to how they used to be, where goalkeepers weren't allowed to go over halfway. What's your perspective, your opinion?
Oh, look, on my opinion, I really love it, having the fly keeper on the court, because it's always a chance to score, and then it's a risk to consider goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to practice, you have to train, you have to, get everybody on the same page. Otherwise, it's better don't do it. But that had helped the game a lot, because at the end of the day, without the goalkeeper going over the halfway, it's 80% chance of mistakes, and then the team comes a goal.
Yeah.
Right? And what happens with that? No more draws.
Yeah.
Really hard. You have a really low percent of draws in competitions, which you have that kind of rules.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that fits pretty well my club. But sometimes it doesn't work because the other team were better. You know what I mean? And of course, we always start with plan B. Actually, plan A, of course. And then through the game, we look in what we need to do, what we're doing well, what we're doing wrong, and then we're going from there. And pretty much the plan C always will be the fly keeper, which is the last, resource you have, to try to win or maybe draw the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So another question that's just come in. It came in earlier when we were talking. What do you think about the change with the Superliga now to the stop clock rules?
I think it's great. I think it's great because it's more game time. Players at the end of the day need to train even more. To get fit up, to get strength, powerness. Because I'm telling you, you playing with the stop clock in an international size sport, you have to be prepared.
Yeah. And what about? Sorry.
No, it's all good.
So, how do you think the stop clock has changed the way the game is played?
Well, now, clubs have more time to think, have more patience and, work their tactics, the plans, game plans and things like that. I reckon has helped the game a lot.
Yeah. Do the Phoenix team train for things like set pieces, attacking corners and kick-ins, free kicks? Do you do that sort of stuff often, regularly?
Yes, I love to do that. That is, it's one thing you need to have, every club has to have, because if you don't have, a setup properly, it's not a chance to score the goal, and maybe with that goal, win the 3 points at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're losing
And,
opportunities.
if you got a really good setup, everybody on the same page, that will work.
Yeah.
That will work. And all the best teams, all the best clubs, they all have kick-ins, throw-ins, kick-off, everything.
Yeah.
And we need just to, go either way. We just, we need to adapt to those kind of conditions, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, Diego, thank you very much for your time. There's a couple of other questions that have come in, but I might have to send them to you and just get you to have a look over them. There was one other question which I will just quickly ask. So, with regard to the Superliga, do you do things with the Phoenix team? Like, do you play against one team differently to how you do another? Or do you just focus on your team and then adapt during the game?
No, I like to train, specific for that game. Because every game is different, different clubs, they use different, rotations, drills and things like that. And what I like to do is to study before, we get that match.
Yeah.
And, I get the boys, everybody to know what to expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's always what we do, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Diego. Sorry for the issues a little bit earlier. And thank you for your time. Please make sure you stay safe. We really appreciate you coming on.